How'd it go with the old yellow jacket?
And we're live.
Okay, I'll set the
I'm on it.
7. You got the other group of 7? Grinnell coming? Yeah.
Oh, I don't have the other group of 7.
I'll send it.
I was not part of the Elite 7.
Well, I can only send so. Two odds. Wasn't working out to that help. There's stuff that hung out for a bit. Even next year. Which are 2? You'll be court wrapping in this year like we did last year. What was that part? What night is it? 18. Foodies? Yeah.
Box.
Went throughout a lot box.
That's what they had at the office originally. So it's not my lockbox. Yeah. There may or may not be enough money.
740.
You open it up and just. Oh, that would have been awesome.
Sorry.
Hey,
So we had to clean it up. Like a can of snakes. Just.
I missed my chance.
What's that? I felt a little tired this morning. Did you hastily shave your head before coming in?
I did. Did I miss a spot?
yeah.
Oh, you got it pretty good, I think. You got a couple spots better than others. And now it's smearing down the back of your head.
Are you serious? I'll sit in the corner. I'll sit in the corner like this.
Making him feel self-conscious about
I know.
Jeez.
It's out of love. It's out of love.
He'll buff
I-
out.
I
He'll
only-
buff out.
I only say something because I like you. If I didn't like you, I wouldn't say anything.
Oh, the back of your head should be the current feed on the lights.
Can't feel it. Holy snackies. Yeah, that is a little brutal looking. That's exactly what I think about. Right now, you're college day. No, Brian, Robbers.
All over the place. That's just terrible.
But yes, I did hastily shave my head. Must be an investigator.
Helped. You're burning on.
Oh, because got it. I'm being facetious because you're an investigator.
I thought you were saying you're an
Yes,
investigator.
No,
I'm not drawing the connection. Did Burbsky do that a couple times?
It's Thursday. You're like, well, that's all these cars. I'm like, holy crap! I might get an underdog show for this.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then I realized, oh,
Well, you showed up there today. You should be hanging. Yeah, Tim.
Last couple of shows wasn't like this though.
Been delivered.
They must have free food or something.
something. What was here last time? What was it last time?
Should be at least 2 weeks.
We were in the back on the other side of the thing. last
You know,
time or two.
Sounds right.
Walk in, 3 guys at the bar just turned to action.
I'd like to see that.
You don't know. What are you doing here?
So there's a couple people I know that have money.
Oh, calling people out.
Did you bring?
I know you got money.
Tickets, Dave?
I have them right here. You want me?
I'm still waiting to hear from my uncle. He never got back to me.
Yep.
What were they again?
1 for 20 or 6 for 100.
I was gonna say it's quite cold in. It's quite cold in here.
Oh, Jim.
It's my excuse for you, man.
1840.
Yeah, people
That's,
I just don't talk to them.
No.
6 and it's got to be the winning game.
Put a magnet on treasure so we can. You want to keep that for your next one? This is my only room. I'm going to do it for every mom.
Stay home.
Kind of quiet there, Roger. You letting your hair grow out?
Been last night. 7:45.
See, that's the longest I've ever seen your hair.
I was bad.
You look good.
Feels weird. Kids did.
No, just put it
How
there. How old are we supposed to get old?
Still awake upstairs. That's a nifty little, what are they called? Whatever that is.
Computer?
Yeah, it was like massive test graders.
Mm-hmm. It's a second screen.
It's not even a Mac in school.
Junior City.
You were telling to me.
Right?
What kind of computer is this?
Asus.
How's it going? Right ahead and push it to.
Oh, Tigran. How are you doing? I'm good. How are you, buddy?
So
Good to see you.
the main reason I got this is when it was
Oh,
out,
you got more water.
it had like a Photoshop
You know, from that
toolbar on this screen, and then the photo on this screen.
Oh, you can do that. You do two screens. Yeah, two screens. You
I haven't figured out how to do that. I wonder if it's a limitation of the Photoshop Basic.
No.
Because I have like the $10 a month one.
You can try the toolboxes all.
How do you break it around?
Well, have the shortcut key that switches it from like that switches each window, like each tool set with have I don't know the same amount of PCs or not. Unless you move, so you can set your toolbox go. You can set all your swatches, all your color swatches, your history bar, all your you can set all those wherever you have to want. You got one screen, exactly whatever. So
This acts as a second screen.
well, yeah, if you have you just plug it in. You just plug in the. It's like
There's
plug in
right?
that workstation. You got a second computer screen. You go into the list drag it right there. Already kind of easy to all. That's your mirror.
Mirror.
I mean, that's the way it works on mine. I do it that way. I got a little whack on the
We're not at the I've never been here. Someday.
here. Set this for draw stuff. We can move things around.
There's something I just.
That shouldn't be.
Eventually.
Shouldn't be an issue or hassle at all.
It'll hit you like a deer.
Yeah, right now.
I hit one of them summer bitch.
So Zany's told me.
You see, it's not here for you. I don't like to be seen. But no, that shouldn't be.
Might have been dulled.
He's got the regular. I'm just shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, Photoshop Lightroom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly what I got. Should be an issue at all.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, I love that, so I would do that right over top of the oncoming. Saber could have summer stuff. You want to get that so pretty.
I hit a raccoon the other night during the really foggy out with my cruiser.
It just kind of clipped his ear, Joe. I smoked it.
You did
If I
it.
had swerved to the right, I'd have smoked 3 other ones. If I had swerved to the left, I'd have hit the oncoming car. So I was like, sorry, fella. Alrighty. And it was like,
Sorry online, we're taking a
Oh,
little bit
okay.
of time.
Pirouette.
alright, sounds good.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you got there? Is that King Cobra?
A 40 and a
King
Cobra.
Was this for your
Hurricane.
demolition?
Lear's more of an OE guy.
You know,
Or what is?
Old English.
Holding.
I just don't think I drank something called liquid death.
I do like that.
It's actually
Slaughterberry.
It's
Yeah, it's just water.
We have
this
a
one's
line.
iced tea,
Tap water.
agave,
And it's
Tap
called
water
liquid
from-
death.
30
Lisa,
calories.
From
John
the jungle
Rath.
primeval.
Did you murder your thirst? I think that's it.
We don't got. It's actually healthier than
It's actually from the tap of the Guatemalan insane asylum.
What?
Tap water from a Guatemalan insane asylum.
Oh, man, that'd be great.
The jungle primeval.
Yeah.
Fucking
And that's why you shit on it.
Sorry, pay attention to the wrong part of that conversation.
Every time I drink one of these, all I hear is Vietnamese war sounds.
Joe, yes, sir.
Did Mason get tickets?
He did not.
I thought it would be hilarious.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for the beat. He would have had no his freezer and his apartment's like this big, so he would have had a rough time.
Type the luminosity on that
He
yet?
can borrow my
Yeah.
freezer.
Type the luminosity on
The
it?
interest is for the storage fee.
You're
is
speaking Greek to
whatever
me.
I want to grab.
Yep, whatever I get.
Tech, this is Lightroom, isn't it?
This is Photoshop.
Is this Photoshop? No, it's not.
Nobody
You
responds.
already talked to me.
No, and that's
Where's your layers?
can also prove it.
Okay, they're probably waiting for us to say yes.
I don't know.
What kind of Photoshop is this? You have no layers.
I don't know why it opened
As
this way.
per our
You sit upon
now.
a phone. You sit upon a phone of lives. It's not Photoshop.
That was the import stage.
Mike and I
There
were
there's Photoshop. Do you have Lightroom?
and then the email came out.
Yeah, I
and
have
it just
Lightroom.
got-
I love
Did you
Lightroom.
shoot it in RAW?
I didn't shoot this picture, so this
Oh,
is a
sick.
JPEG.
If you had,
Hear me
okay, so
out.
if you had it in RAW, then you could like
But
do the luminosity.
what about reaching out with this
really draw out like
Can
some
you
like
check-
sauce
comment
foods.
online?
It's like
finishes it out.
People can make comments, yeah.
Where's it at? I think maybe a day or two. For, like,
I don't know how it works on mobile.
I don't need it.
Are we not on YouTube anymore?
So last time,
Yeah, we are.
5 weeks ago.
Should be able to comment just right on.
Yeah, you should.
Seth was me for.
But he's got an Android device in his hands. I don't know how that works.
Miller was with me for 6 weeks. And me for 2 weeks, and I was like 5 weeks ago. This
Where,
is like.
where did that come
There ought to be a comment section
Yeah,
somewhere.
I know you know.
Because I'm looking at the comment section
We
here
talked
on
about it.
Windows.
We were gonna do
And
six.
I swear Bursky sent a text or email or something saying that's what we're gonna do. You guys are like, oh, I'm like, that makes sense. We'll
Well,
we'll
no,
go
and
for
then
2
our
weeks
actual
break.
FOP, or not do that.
Yeah,
Our
like,
actual
they
I
forget
know,
things
I know,
sometimes.
yes, I know. And then also I told Lyra, I said like, and then like when I get a suggestion like a couple days ago, it's like, that's a great idea, Vince. Let's do that. I'm like, yep. Glad I thought about that. So I'm here to make solutions for it.
Yeah.
My most.
I know.
Sitting there like, maybe we should just do the full 12 weeks, and I'm like, okay, 8 weeks with Colm, and then
So Coleman,
Mike
Coleman,
is gonna
knows-
have-
When was this conversation?
so
it
Seth-
was literally in the middle of that because then
so
they were
Seth-
talking
so
about
Seth
how
and-
I'd have
yeah.
Miller and Colm at the same time.
So Miller get Vince for 2
Yeah.
weeks, and they
Which-
both get Cameron for like 25 weeks, and they'll get a couple weeks with me.
They're on FTO with me for the next 6 weeks.
We'll talk later.
Okay.
We'll talk later.
All right. I'm going to start with the.
I motion to bring this.
Worthy
meeting
president,
forward.
all president or brothers qualified to remain.
It is well, officers, brothers, and sisters, be attentive while I give a offer of prayer. Lord, bless this lodge tonight as we make a critical decision whether or not we're going to move forward with the union or what exactly our plans are. Like us to keep Mason great on our prayers, and I appreciate everybody that put in the effort to sell some tickets. Your name? Amen. All right.
Dave, can you move your tablet or your laptop a little bit to your right?
That's going right anyway.
Perfect.
All right. Lodge 94 is now open. Let's go ahead and stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, please stay in person. We have a proxy vote from Travis Herbolsheimer. We have enough people tonight to make our voting go down. So we're gonna go ahead and start with our officer reports. Cody has something right away.
So everyone gave their $31 they were supposed to. We got those sent in. I got an email from the state secretary saying that we had gotten those, and that we were good there. However, she said she's going to send the national check in, but our national roster compared to our state roster are not matching up because on the website it's a pain, to put it nicely. So I'm going to be in contact with the national FOP to get that straightened out, but we're all good for yearly dues of $31 a day.
Okay, Cameron Lear, do you have anything?
I've got nothing.
All right, Mike Finch.
Did not.
Eric Hanson's not here. You ever see everything? I just want to remind everybody tonight, what's being said in here needs to stay in here because there's going to be some stuff with our attorney and there's some hurt feelings what we're doing right now. So, all right. I have a fundraising committee. Obviously, I'll take care of that tonight. Bylaws, we don't have nothing new. Any of the members have anything they want to talk about?
For the annual meeting on January
We
18th.
got that as one of our agenda items.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Good. Go Georgia. Go Georgia, right?
So, first,
Okay,
so a motion to approve last month's meeting minutes, so we get moving forward. Do I have a motion from last month's meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, one at a time. Who?
Was Lee.
Lee makes a motion, I second.
Second and a half.
Got 40 million seconds.
One thing I can definitely motion to approve.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nays? All right, so some of our unfinished business I pushed down to an agenda, showing of interest, because we were wanting to talk to our attorney. That's what we're gonna do tonight. That'll be part of our union. So when we do this, if you have a question, this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hook it up to a Bluetooth speaker. We're all hard of hearing. It is gonna go out. Obviously, if you have a question, we'll have you come up here and have a seat, and we'll talk to the cell phone. Okay. 7:30 is our time for that, so let's try to knock some of this extra stuff out. I'm gonna. What's the next thing we have? Oh, the gun drawing. It's gonna wait and bring some paperwork for our annual meeting here later this 3 weeks, and we'll figure out what guns we want to do. Because the two that we chose were not even an option because you couldn't get them. I think we kind of have some narrowed down. Chris has got one I looked at. Looks like a pretty nice one. It's American made. We were talking about the Henry, what was it, Big Boy? Revolver. And then it's
44, John Moore, B357.
yeah. And then there was a couple of different types of patriotics, right? ARs. I think that'll be enough. It'll be expensive enough. So we'll make that decision at our meeting coming up here, annual meeting. So we're just gonna keep that as unfinished business. All right, so the gun booth at the gun show. I talked to Terry Regal, and they're gonna give us a reserved table for free. So that's really nice of them. You're gonna have just a table set up for us selling tickets. That being said, I'm gonna need volunteers.
When is that?
I don't have that yet. I know it's in March.
That's at the Norfolk Gun Show.
Norfolk Gun Show.
And all we're doing there is selling tickets for.
All you're doing is selling tickets. There's 3 days of it.
Let me know when.
What's that?
Let me know when.
Show dates in 2025 are going to be March 7, 8, and 9.
Is that something that we have to be in uniform for, or?
No. Nope. Oh, it'd be nice if we get a couple some t-shirts at least ordered. If you're gonna do that, if you want to get a t-shirt, order a t-shirt, you can try to get that done.
Shit. Get a big one. I'm just going to watch, so we'll see.
You're working? So we will need volunteers. I'm not gonna work the whole thing like I did last time because that was exhausting. So, anybody have any input on that at all?
Hang a list up with times needed in the office, and we can sign into it.
Sign up.
I'm a little weary
Good
about.
for a couple hours at a time.
I don't know how
Holiday deal.
it's gonna be for FOP in our office.
We should discuss that because our last meeting, didn't we have a conversation about holding off on doing that?
We have the paperwork already submitted, so he can still pull the plug. That's what we're to the point where we can still pull the plug.
Well, my question is, my recollection of that meeting was when we had a conversation about it, is that because of how things were going on our recent negotiations, that we didn't want to stir the pot, so to speak, so we tabled that. And it's my understanding that they got served with those
Yeah,
papers.
he already had the paperwork sent in.
Well, that doesn't make any difference. It shouldn't have happened, in my opinion.
Well, we had the paperwork submitted a month and a half before that meeting. That just
Well, am I wrong in what I'm saying? Didn't we have a conversation about we didn't want to move forward with this because we needed more answers on the serving, the lawsuit, or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
he already had all that in order.
It don't make a difference if he had it. I thought we talked about it, and we did not want to move forward with it until we had an opportunity to talk to the attorney.
That's why I'm trying to get this figured out tonight.
All right. Is my recollection not accurate on that?
That's right. We didn't want it. We wanted to talk to the attorney.
Yeah, so
That's why we're trying to get it done tonight.
So who filed paperwork that caused
That was that showing interest. We did right away. We had everything ready to go, like 9 months ago. And then Todd's like, "Hey, hit the brakes." We all decided let's hit the brakes for a little bit. After Todd made the decision, okay, well after you hit the brakes, it's fine. Go ahead and do it. Well, apparently he didn't want us to do it, and that's why we tried to hit the brakes on the last meeting.
So what my recollection from that meeting was that we had a pretty in-depth conversation about this, and it was like, hey, we don't want to do anything where we're going to file suit or anything until
That's
we
why we're
get
getting
more
breaks.
information. And then it was that we were going to, at an upcoming meeting, we were going to have an attorney either present or here to answer questions. And all of a sudden, I find out that they
Yeah, he
filed
already had
these
the
papers.
He already had the papers in.
And
So
because your explanation, if I remember correctly, was that this is part of their process.
it is part of
It
the
has to be
process.
how it's done. But we had questions about why that was.
Yeah, and he'll be on the phone tonight.
Before we can somebody explain what happened? I don't know.
So in order to,
What's going on?
so yeah, we're on nights. So
what?
showing of interest is that thing we had to say, hey, FOP, we want to be a part of a union, right? So that goes down to him, and
Who's him?
Go ahead,
Who's him?
Christian, our attorney,
Okay.
Gary Young.
And this was for the collective bargaining.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so the commissioners got served.
Yeah. Well, they pushed it forward. It hasn't gone to commissioners yet, like the meeting yet. That's why we want to get this done.
They were notified.
Well, and I know that he's going to be on the phone here shortly. But
So I'm guessing.
and Chad and I visited about this today in the office just briefly, and it was like, in the interest of full accountability, I think maybe our president and our vice president should go and speak to the commissioners, say, hey, here's the deal. This is the process because it's by state law. It's my understanding. This is by law. It has to be.
It's by statute. It is in statute.
And so we're not saying that we want to have a power trip over you guys, but in the event that we need a collective bargaining attorney, then this is how the process is set up. Because, and I haven't spoke to anybody directly about this. It's all been secondhand. But apparently we got some pissed off cohorts in this deal.
Yep.
And if I was on their side of the boat, I'd be the same one.
Well, this isn't a surprise. They knew that this is what we were going to do. That's why they refused to let us do payroll deductions. They were pissed that we were even going to move forward.
Well, that's okay.
So it wasn't like a big surprise. Makes sense?
So who all got served?
No idea. Had no.
They were directly told that we were going after becoming a collective bargaining unit.
Absolutely, they were told that. And that's Joe Smith got himself upset about that. And so it was like, screw this, we're not working with them, don't work with them.
Who told him that? That we were going after becoming a
We
collective
did. We
bargaining
had that conversation.
We as
The
you guys,
commissioners. FOP. I went in front of the commissioners and told them what we were doing, why we were trying to do it. So this conversation's been had. We can revisit it.
Was that in a meeting?
Yes.
So it would be in their minutes.
Should be.
Okay.
well, the information I have is they were just kind of dumped on them, and they didn't know it was coming.
Yeah, it was not a surprise. They knew we were going to do this.
Because I remember asking the question, I'm like, why do we have to have a court proceeding to get a collective bargaining thing? And nobody could answer that question. And that was why we wanted to have the attorney come on and tell us what the story
Maybe
was.
the court proceeding part, the surprise of it.
Probably.
Yeah, and I guess I get why they are.
Well, if I'm served fucking papers, I'm
Oh yeah.
I'm not.
Hey, who got it, dude?
So maybe he'll be able to
we'll get some
questions.
answers here shortly.
Did you have to do it since you're on MTO?
They could have got served by certified mail.
But just so I'm clear, we talked about this. We talked about not moving
And
forward
he already
with
had it
the
going.
papers and the lawsuit or whatever you want to call it. And all of a sudden it happened. I'm like, why did it happen?
Was it
Because it
our
was
show
already
of
submitted.
interest?
What's that?
Was it the showing of interest?
Yes. That thing we signed.
Because we did that, and then all the stuff happened from that one action.
That is exactly what that is.
Okay. Surprise.
Do I need to move on?
So somebody needed to maybe stop that.
What's that, Joe?
He says that's something that we should have probably stopped then. Once that,
What's done is done.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all, the paperwork is already submitted. He already had the paperwork in for it, to the state. As soon as that got submitted, he put in the paperwork for the state.
You know what? I'm really upset if somebody didn't know this got wrong. I guess we didn't realize all of this was going to happen.
I didn't think But,
Well, obvious they've done this before, so they know the process.
right,
So they got what they needed and they move forward.
yep. Yeah, we already hit the brakes on
Do
this.
they not communicate with the local chapters then before they take action? Apparently,
They said, well, this is how it works, and that's how I tried to describe you guys. And then that's what I was told. I didn't know how fast this would happen. He said it could take a while because if there's a collective bargaining before this, they have to go through the process of dissolve, basically getting rid of it.
Well, I'll tell you, I had a conversation with one of the commissioners in a social event when we were first starting to talk about this, and his comment to me is, "How bad you guys gonna try to fuck us?"
Yeah,
And I said, "We're not gonna try to fuck you." I said, "The primary reason that," and I'll only speak for myself here, that I joined this group is because at the time they were talking about qualified immunity being taken away from police officers, and they had an insurance policy, and I was concerned about that. And so I'm like, oh, cool. There's a place for me to get some coverage on that.
Yep.
And I talked to several other deputies. Some of those deputies are in this room. And I'm like, this would be a good thing that we could get that protection because it was during the Black Lives Matters bullshit and having all the anti-police legislation going through. And I thought that there's a chance that we could see more of that happen. And that's, if you're not familiar with that immunity, that's a big thing for us, because basically what it says is a reasonable person would take this action at that moment with these circumstances, so you can't sue them. And that's not generally how fucking civil litigation works.
Right.
So that was my number one concern. Like the union thing wasn't a big thing to me, but but people, especially in our area, they get kind of concerned when they hear things about unions.
Yeah.
Because there's
Right.
some negative connotation. There's some positive things that come from unions, obviously, but there's some negative connotations that come from them.
Absolutely.
But on like the other hand, it's not like we can start a fucking picket line and not work.
That's specifically in our bylaws as well. We cannot do any holdouts.
Well,
Basically,
legally,
the state-
no, I'm cool with that.
The
I mean,
state will come
that
in and
makes
say you're done.
complete sense.
So I guess I get why they're upset at the being surprised. That makes total sense. But as far as like the union, it's not like we're an electricians union where we don't get paid enough, we're gonna stop working. We can't do that. We can't, there's only certain things that we can do. We can sue them. If they say no, then, oh, all right. So I don't see what the concern is on that aspect.
I think
them.
their problem is what they probably foresee us doing is they're like, okay, we just gave these guys a pretty good pay raise, and tentatively we're going to agree on this next one as well. They get this show cause. All right, they filed for a union. What are they so fucking pissed about? Well, what they probably just need to be explained is like, we have one commissioner that's going to retire. What happens if the other two that are doing good for us for some reason don't get elected? Next one or next two that come in are like, we don't like the fucking sheriff's office.
Or there becomes
Or here's
state legislature saying, the qualified immunity's gone, something. They need to
and then
explain
like
that.
here's let's say something happens to
gonna
Todd while he's in office, and then some stuff starts going down.
So-
All we're trying to do is protect the agency as a whole, not just trying to like, hey, we want more money than
You guys need to talk with the commissioners about directly so that they're not like, they think we're trying to jam something up their ass.
We'll do it again. Go over.
Well, that's the issue, is they think that we're trying to jam something up their ass.
I think that's
And
the
I think
question.
that's where that accountability thing comes.
We need to ask our attorney is, should we talk to them about that? Should we tell them, hey, this is why we're doing it?
Well, it can be wiped out as quickly as
legality of
start
it now.
So, all right, I'm not trying to.
So what exactly is this court process?
I think it's pretty easy and pretty smooth.
Well, no, are they suing them? Or?
They have to just basically ask, I think, for the right to allow the FOP be the union. So if Joe Smith is upset, it sounds like he's gonna fight everything.
Well, I think Joe Smith is going to fight it no matter how good our intentions are.
Right.
that was the main pushback. Joe Smith.
So
When we went
he's
to
just
the
going to fight it
automatic
no matter
payroll
what.
deduction,
He was very, very pissed that we even wanted to start this organization.
because I also think he's under the impression that the FOP is going to completely undermine the whole entire merit commission and do away with it, which by statute you can't do away with the merit commission still.
The American Commission by statute.
Hey, can somebody pull a chair up over here so whoever they have questions, just to the side there. I think it's like it was over.
What? Dude, if you go to the back of the Nebraska State Statute book, there's literally a section called JS. It's Joe Smith statutes. He's okay so far.
Hi Gary, this is David McCart, Madison County Lodge 94. How are you doing tonight? Doing good. So we got our meeting going here, and we have quite a few questions. I'm gonna switch you over to a Bluetooth speaker, and we'll ask some questions. That sound good? All right.
you like the beard.
You there?
Long one is that. I don't need him right now though. One.
Got a brush and some language.
You probably do it.
I got mine good long range.
Just get lost. Chad had a hard time though with this. Curl it up. Just curl just the eyebrows. Just the
Just do it. Big hairstyles.
You there? All right. So I guess the watch here. The first question we have is: can you explain a little bit of how the union process works? Yeah, I guess maybe some of the pros and cons. You having it? Hold on. You get a lot of feedback, so I don't. There, that might be a little better now. Is that better? Is it still doing it? Come on. Are you still getting feedback?
Yeah, I'm hearing my own voice badly. I don't know if I can speak on my end.
We can hear you.
Okay. That's a lot. Is there anything in particular? What are you thinking about, or what are your?
What's the court file?
So,
Ask me
so how does the court filing work?
What is it?
And what is it?
Okay, so when anybody decides they want to start a union for which the county is required to bargain, that just doesn't just happen. What is there is a statute called the Industrial Relations Act.
It's got a pin.
If anybody's the type or needs something to help them sleep, they can read it at 48801 and following. And there's a host of statutes there that run till about 48820 or so that that set out the law of when a couple things. One, when is the county, Madison County, forced to bargain with you as a union rather than as just leaving you as individuals on your own? And then, well, what does that mean? How do you then go about bargaining? And so what we've done so far for you at your request has been to make the first filing of that organizes you as a union. That's called a certification action. It's filed in a labor court that's called the Commission of Industrial Relations. It's in Lincoln. So if you look up and down the list of FOPs,
Industrial relations.
there are about 95 FOPs now. I don't know what your number is, but it's in the 90s.
94. Yep, we're 94.
Yeah, it'll be in the 94. What we're telling the county is when we filed that case, I think Eric filed it last week or before the holidays, is, hey, we want to collectively bargain with you over all of our wages and our benefits and our conditions of work. And there's a whole host of things that are covered in bargaining agreements between counties or cities and FOPs all over the state. and we represent most of you, most of the FOPs, and we've organized about half of the FOPs in the state over the last, 20 years or so. 25 years I've been representing the state FOP, and you guys. And what that does is, what we're telling people is, hey, there's, I don't know how many people in your FOP, but among the deputies and the sergeants and whoever else we included in the bargaining unit, but those are usually the basic components of an FOP. Investigators sometimes lieutenants, sometimes not, sometimes all the way up to captain. But what we do is we tell them, hey, this group of people that signed this document that David had you all sign for us, it's called a showing of interest, says we have an interest in bargaining, and we are going to, we are asking the CIR to approve us as the collective bargaining agent for this group of people. And once we get that approval, we're not going to be operating on our alone anymore. We're going to be operating as a group, and the FOP is going to be the representative of that group. And the way that the case is going to work from here on in until your representatives, the CIR then has to decide, okay, is your showing of interest sufficient to require an election? If it is, then they'll set an election date for you to be have a vote as to whether you want to organize as the FOP and have this collective bargaining status, representative status given to the FOP. Once you, what that, the rule is, basically, I'll tell you about that. Once you do that, if you have a showing that 30% people that are proposed to be in the bargaining unit want to be, then the CIR will have an election, and then a 50% plus one vote will decide whether you are going to be in a bargaining unit and be certified or not. The unions, obviously, the people that could be in unions sometimes don't want to be, and so then they can vote no, and if no's win, then it's not established. In your case, everybody, I think, except maybe one, or I don't remember exactly, signed the agreement or the showing of interest, which means that we've already matched the 30% threshold, and so the CIR is going to, except for unless one thing happens.
What's CRI?
CIR, that's the Commission of Industrial Relations. That's the labor court I was referring to.
Okay.
Sorry about that. The CIR is going to issue an election schedule where and give notice to the county and so on, and then they will hold an election. The only thing that can stop the CIR from holding an election is if the county resists the effort of the union to organize, or the FOP to organize, and they have a successful resistance. And in order to establish, to stop you, what the county would have to do is basically say one thing. Well, they could say a couple things. It's usually one thing. That you do not have what's called a community of interest in labor law, such that you should be organized. So you're not sufficiently related of your union as a union. It's basically, hey, this doesn't really together as a union. And for example, if you were in a situation where you had like a bunch of guys from the county roads department, and they decided that they wanted to organize a union with all of you, right? There's not really a relationship, a working relationship that makes any kind of sense between you and the Department of Roads employees, besides the fact that you all work for the same employer, which is the county. And I mean, we are talking about Madison County, right?
Correct.
Yeah, not the city of Madison Police. Okay. And but that in your case, that there's no real good argument. There's no good argument that you're not in a community of interest with one another. You all work for the same agency in the county. You all have the same functional and occupational kind of mission. You're all part of the law enforcement mission of the county. You have the same bosses. You all work under the same policies.
Got it.
You have the same bosses. You generally work the same shifts, and you're all sort of doing the same function for the county.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, counties usually don't resist because they don't really have a good argument for resisting. The only other time when they sometimes make an argument that gets that we have to go to trial on and decide whether you should be in the same unit with each other is sometimes when there's when we try to organize a group and there are what we call statutory supervisors and the union members that they supervise in the same bargaining unit. Now, some people may think, well, look, sergeants and deputies, sergeants supervise deputies. Does that mean that we're not in the same unit? And the answer is no. We've tried this case several times, and the CIR basically has always ruled that sergeants and deputies can be in the same bargaining unit. So too with dispatchers. I don't know if we have dispatchers in your group.
No, we have correctional officers in our group.
Correctional officers that are supervised by the sheriff.
Yep.
Yeah, all of those are the kind of people that are typically in the same bargaining unit. I have many FOPs that have those groups, all those groups in them.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's not really a good argument that you shouldn't be in the same bargaining unit. And I'll really leave to the chief deputy if you wanted to have captains in. It makes it a little harder, but there's a pretty good case on it. Even then, you're probably okay. So what the CIR is likely to do is tell the county, we served the county last week when we sued the county and filed the case in the CIR, and they're aware of the filing, I assume.
Oh yes.
Okay, and so they'll either decide, hey, we're going to resist this, or no, we're going to try to get along and we're going to not resist it and wait for the election result.
Okay.
Once the election happens, the CIR issues you what's called a certification order. And that's just basically an order from the CIR, the Commission of Industrial Relations, that says, county, you may no longer negotiate individually with police or deputies or corrections.
When you say individual, are you talking about the sheriff's department, or are you talking about individual deputies?
Individual deputies.
Okay.
So right now, in theory, the relationship that you have with one another is happenstance. You happen to work with the same employer, and as a legal matter, the sheriff only has to deal with you one-on-one. And the county only has to do with you one-on-one. In theory, the county could, for example, give you contracts.
But practically that never happens. It rarely.
Exactly true. It rarely happens. And so to get raises, to get changes in your working conditions that are beneficial to you, each of you would have to go negotiate those separately with the sheriff or the county, actually the sheriff and the county. And so what you're asking the CIR to do is say, no, we would like to negotiate under a contract, and the city, and we want the county, excuse me, to the law of what's called comparability. Okay, and comparability is the law that if you want to read about it, it's at Nebraska Revised Statute 18 are the standards for comparability. What comparability says is we don't you can't strike. Okay, the law prevents deputies and corrections officers and so on from striking. In exchange for that, promise that you won't strike. We are not going to let the county just tell you what your wages are and you have to lump it. Instead, what they say is your wages and your conditions of employment, including all of your benefits and your health care and your, everything you can think of that's financial in nature, and other things like that aren't necessarily financial, like seniority rights, bidding on shifts, and lots of different components of your working conditions, your time off, your sick leave, your schedules, and so on. All of that stuff is bargained for now, and you establish a contract that has all those terms in it. And if the county refuses to pay you what are called comparable wages, and I can tell you about that in a second, then you have a remedy to force them. And that's to go to the commission and say, look, the county is not paying us comparable wages or benefits, so on, healthcare rates, all of this, the components of your financial lives, and so on.
It's already happened.
And the CIR and the commission will force them to in a legal action. And so, for example, right now the FOP 45 is the Gage County deputies and investigators and sergeants. They have had a long-term relationship. They have a long-term certification by the CIR. We are about to file an action in the CIR on January 7th to allege that the county is not paying them comparable wages that are required by the statute. And so we want the CIR to force them to. And that's called a wage freeze.
How is that comparable wages? How's that figured out?
So, comparability is a function of measuring you against the pay your peers receive. And so there is a.
Is that locally? Is that the state of Nebraska, or is that broader than that?
For you, how big you are. For you guys, it'll be in the state, and because you have enough, we'll call comparators or peers that we can compare you to determine whether they are paying you what's called the midpoint of the peers that the CIR says are appropriate.
Okay.
And so, for example, one of the things we will do before we negotiate your first contract with the county is go determine who your peers are. And so that's a matter of determining, looking at, there's basically three factors. One is geographic proximity. One is population comparability, which means are you within the range of employers that are, the peers are people that are within the range between 1/2 your size as a county and 2 times your size as a county. Any of those counties that are within those ranges can be used as a comparator.
What
And
what do you what do you classify as? So, like within our FOP, we've got what are called corrections officers and corrections deputies, and then we also have road deputies, corrections sergeants, corrections lieutenants, road sergeants, road lieutenants. Are those all going to be just classified within the same thing, or are you going to have a bargaining within each of those then? So, like the corrections deputies and the the correction deputies and the road deputies may not be getting paid the same. Is that, or may not have the same comparable wage?
As here, what crap have to go to court to force them to pay? The law says that your classifications, that is the job that you have, are all separately evaluated for comparability. Although they're all brought at the same time, the same contract. So what we do is we identify all of your classes, all of your job classes, deputy, like all those ones you just listed, and then we compare you on a class by class basis to the group of peers that you have and determine what people that compare to you are paid, the high and the low, and whether they have a step plan for pay and how many steps are in that step plan, what all the benefits are. But all the wages are separately determined based upon the differentiation in job match. So obviously a lieutenant and a sergeant typically are paid more, the same number of years of service than a deputy. And so we end up with a pay plan that has a pay rate that's different for each rank.
Right, I understand that. I'm more concerned like the correction deputy versus road deputy.
That's what he said. It would be different
It
based on
would
your
be
comparable.
okay.
So Gary, hey, this is Joe Green here. I just wanted to give you kind of like the situation that we're facing. I think in our county, and someone can jump in here if they think that I'm wrong. Right now, what we have is we just received a good raise this past year. We're tentatively having another raise scheduled for the next coming budget, which would be get us pretty close to the mid of the pack, as far as our comparability, at least the studies that we've had. However, with this, there's the county attorney is very against us unionizing. That he has gone to the commissioners. The commissioners had been served here the other day, and they're all very upset. Like basically, I think what we're looking at is we had kind of something in the works where we're looking at very good raises, and now with moving forward here with this, we might be jeopardizing that. And I think there's kind of at least in my mind, is this the right process for us right now? If we have something that's tentatively going to give us all pretty good raises, and it's going to keep us all on the same pay scale as what we have now. Our corrections are paid the same as a road, and so we have a lot of our FOP. I think that's going to probably, if we go straight to comparability, they'd probably be paid less right now. So that's something that
Subject to the road.
It can be.
they it's more of a like a lateral, or they're selected. If you there are some that are certified.
Corrections deputies are certified through the state of Nebraska, went through the Nebraska training facility, or as we classify them, and then the corrections officer is not. They're not a certified law enforcement officer.
So there's two tiers.
Yep, there's two. Yeah.
So we distinguish between certified and uncertified.
Which we do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we do.
That clarifies that.
Okay. So like I said, my main issue right now is just like I said, we have, I think, a good raise on the horizon. And now with this, showing of interest, and then the filing and the CIR, that may be jeopardizing that, or at least that's the concern.
Well, if they want to try to kind of resist by, you know, it's not, I mean, I hate to use the word retaliate, but that's kind of what it is.
Mhm.
Say, hey, we're not going to pay you as much if you organize than if you don't organize. If they want to try to do that to you, it's illegal, but there's not a lot you can do to stop it, other than be ready to file and force them to pay you comparable wages if they continue to resist. Now you don't have to.
Mhm. So if we put a pause on the organizing, and then we get the raise, and then later if we want to return to organizing, that might be, at least in my mind, a better strategy at this point for our particular situation. I don't know who else, what other people.
Well, they might keep doing this to you. I mean, if they set your wages every year, I take it.
No. We were in the middle of the pack. I think we were kind of blessed with not having a lot of turnover and having some good people here, that we didn't face a lot of the shortages that other agencies had. So our wages didn't go up in comparability to many of the other agencies around here. So just because people wanted to work here, but we ended up getting behind. We went to the commissioners. Our sheriff was a big push to get us better wages. The American, everything we got this year, we got a good raise, but the next raise would, I think, put us very, very comparable.
Probably closer to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we have the pay. We have the pay scale already. That's already done, and we're just waiting for next year's budget to approve that next.
So our Merit Commission rep actually did a comparability.
If I have a question.
Good question. He's here right now.
I sent out letters to agencies that are bigger, smaller, and also closely comparable, and it included hourly rates for deputies, corrections, certified, non-certified, civilian employees, just everybody in a department. And I sent out these letters with these surveys for them to fill out, and they returned them. And then I compiled all the data together on a spreadsheet and presented it to the sheriff and the regular county commissioners as well.
And they're paying you.
So what the talk was is that in order for them to approve the whole thing, because they didn't like the big number right away, was that they would do part of it this year and part of it next year. But this portion of it was approved, and I don't know about next year.
Okay.
Well,
I don't think anybody on that, so don't misunderstand me. Is would show information that we would do with a CIR kind of survey. It might be close, I'm guessing. Hard to know. We do, of course, we survey everything like healthcare rates, contribution rates to pension, vacation accrual rates.
So I got another question here real quick.
Yeah, all those things. Yeah, go ahead.
Do we know those numbers before that 50% plus one vote to whether or not we want to move forward, or are those numbers later? Like, yeah, we want to, make that make sense, somebody.
So to organize before we get those numbers, or you give those numbers to us before that?
Give you a pretty good idea. We represent, I'm guessing, almost everybody that is a comparator to you, and so we keep a running, we keep a running database on all of pay and all of the components of comparability for every city and county in the state.
Can you send that to us before our vote?
Yeah, I can. Typically, we don't. I mean, people pay for that, and so it's not it's a lot of work to do all this. So the FOPs kind of share the load. I don't know if you guys are on our plan or not, but offhand, I don't know. I doubt it. What do you have? Just a question to help me understand your situation. What do you have for legal defense right now?
We actually are signed up for the brown and blue.
You in the labor plan, which is $55.
We are in the larger group,
In that
the
case,
55.
we can get you the information.
That would be fantastic.
What's that?
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, and then then you'll have a very good idea. It'll take me a few days because I've got to have we have a compensation analyst that works in our office. He'll have to do the workup on it, but it shouldn't take too long. If you can give me a few days, I'll get that to you, and you guys it'll help you make a decision about what you want to do.
Well, I hope you can kind of appreciate our circumstance here because we've been promised a pretty substantial raise next year, and they gave us a substantial raise this year. And so this has ruffled some feathers. Anytime you get served with papers that you're being sued or whatever the case might be, you can see where the hackles come up. And so we're trying to protect that. Also, we're looking long term is something that's going to be really beneficial to the public servants that work for the sheriff's office in Madison County.
Yeah, you guys have fun.
So they tentatively. We do.
You guys asked me to.
Yep. We weren't expecting it to, but here it is.
I appreciate it. Some people are organized.
We've got a couple more questions real quick for you here. So this paperwork that's been filed now, that just gives us the right to bargain later if we see the need to, right? It's not something that's like, this is the paperwork, we're fighting for more money. It just gives us the right to be able to do that. Am I correct in assuming that?
Sure, we may have to do it on a collective basis. Doesn't mean you have to stay.
Okay, so that then answers the question. Like, let's say, just throwing numbers out, and these are off the wall numbers. Let's say we're getting paid $100 an hour. They say we offer 150, but we're happy or the midpoint's 150, but we're happy with the 100. We could just say no, we'll stay with the 100, right? We don't have to fight. Okay, that answers.
Yeah.
That's off the wall numbers.
How do we pause this for a few weeks so we can make this decision based on what you send us? Or is it got to just keep on moving?
Well, if you want, we could request for a stay in the CIR. And, well, we can do a couple of things. Okay. Again, it's your guys' deal. It's not anything more than that. If you guys don't want to go forward, we could always dismiss the case.
Right.
Okay.
And refile it later, right?
And refile it later. You'd have to go get the list again, and you'd have to do all the signatures like you did. I think you did it a couple times. Or we could file a motion for a stay, which would just say, hey, we're going to put this on hold. I can call the county attorney and say, hey, just so you know, the FOP they're not going to move forward at this time on an election. They're not going to press it. They might, or they're not going to press bargaining or anything. They just want to get certified for the future. We can put that on hold as long as you guys want. But Any of those options are available to you.
Okay.
You guys just have to decide how you want to play your hand here.
All right. Anybody else have any questions?
I do.
Oh, we got one.
So I just have one quick question.
Yeah.
Right now, I can speak for myself. I believe everyone in the sheriff's office is pretty happy with wages and working conditions right now.
Okay.
Up until last week, I think we had a healthy relationship with the commissioners.
Yeah.
So we don't want to take any type of action. We don't want to fight for better wages. We don't want to fight for better working conditions right now. But we don't know who's going to be on the commission in 10 years. We don't know who the sheriff is going to be whenever our current sheriff retires.
Or doesn't get elected.
So in your professional opinion, should we form this collective bargaining unit now or should we wait?
Yeah, it's not really a matter of legal analysis. It's a matter of you have to make your own judgments about the politics of your situation. And if you think it's going to cause you worse outcome, then you can make that judgment call. Over the long term, it generally doesn't, but in the short term, it can have an effect. And so you just have to make that judgment call. Typically, counties your size are organized. There are several who aren't, but most of them are. But doesn't mean you have to be. And it doesn't mean you're shutting it out in the future either, in case you get a bunch of different commissioners or there's a different attitude displayed and different relationship. All of these things you guys have to weigh, and you're far better position to weigh those sort of prudential judgments yourselves than asking me. I mean, I don't have any idea what your relationship is with any of these people. And so, and I just knew that we were asked to help you get organized, and it looked like everybody wanted to do it from your showing of interest.
Oh yeah.
So you guys just make that judgment call, and there's nothing wrong with putting this thing on hold. Nothing really wrong with going forward either. But you have to live with the people that are in power, and so. Okay.
I don't think we anticipated the amount of
Blowback.
yeah
Right.
the harsh line or that this would be such a polarizing decision on our part. But.
Okay.
So
they've made it clear to you that they're going to make you pay for it. Sounds like to me.
Mm-hmm.
If let's just assume that that's what's going on, and then you dismiss the case. They decide our relationship is such that we're going to take advantage of these guys. And we're not going to give them the raise we promised, and we're going to make life difficult, whatever. We can always file later.
Yeah. How long does it take?
You have to get those signatures, and then once you get the signatures in, we can file in a matter of days. Those signatures are only good for 90 days, and so if you run out in 90 days, then you gotta get a new list.
all right. Are you still gonna plan on getting us those comparabilities?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I don't think we have any other. Yep. Do we have any other questions?
No, I think that's good.
I appreciate you taking our call and filling us in how this works. We'll be in touch.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're okay.
Yeah, I just felt like that was my main question. I think that was I don't know. Don't speak for everybody else, but that's kind of where we were all at.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like we have a good relationship. Things are moving forward. And
Yeah,
our
and like
benefit
I said,
right
that
now.
next raise, I think
I'd say probably put us into
we'd at least
Top.
be in the you know, as far as some of these other agencies, I think
It'd be way more comparable.
we'd be much more, yeah, in the middle of the pack or in the.
I'm interested in seeing those comparability.
I am too.
My question is, I know you've been here forever and a day too. I've been here for 15 years.
You do.
When I first started here,
You're 15 years.
Oh, Chris has got a good point. I know where he's going with this.
when I started here 15 years ago, my medical insurance was $750 deductible, no premiums whatsoever. It was $1,500 bought down to $750 with no premiums. It's almost 10 grand today. That's not a good working relationship with the commissioners.
So
Sorry.
I'll tell you,
Our benefits have gone to shit.
he was in the grandfathered people for family coverage, so he didn't have to pay anything out of pocket like we do now. We were split. New people, well, you weren't grandfathered in. You were paying $950 a month for health insurance. I remember having to go with my brother, Vern Downey, to go fight for equal health insurance for everybody in our department.
Yeah. And part of that is healthcare costs.
So
I appreciate that and I understand that, but
so
this
could easily get. We had new commissioners. Well, one's still on there, but we have two new ones now. They're a little more forward thinking.
So what happens that they're already butthurt that they got served?
Well, I'd say
That's kind of.
and then
I feel like there's only
Okay,
two
I guess
options.
I would-
Yeah. Either one, go in there with your tail tucked between your legs and say, we fucked up, we moved a little fast, didn't really know what we were doing. We're dialing it back, not doing that, in hopes that it smooths everything over. Or, since we've already fucking poked the proverbial hornet's nest, be like, you know what, this isn't.
We poked them when we started this agency.
Like,
This
we're not
organization.
doing this to fuck you guys over. This is, if
Our
we
protection.
think we need to fight for something for us, this is it.
And yeah, this has already been explained to the commissioners.
Right.
So
In
they're
an
already-
open meeting.
So what happens when they're already pissed and they're like, "Oh, your budget doesn't fit your raises next year," and then we didn't file,
Exactly.
or we
So-
do file and they say it doesn't fit your budget. Okay, now we want a contract.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
exact kind
most
of attitude
agencies
that
now are
we want the
contract.
unit for.
That's what I'm saying. So like, why?
I don't know why
Well,
we're considering pausing.
If we're already going for this, I don't know. It seems scary to me to be like, oh, we don't want to do it because they might not give us a raise. But if we do it, then we have to, and we force a contract. Now they have to stick it. And we can be like, okay, we're happy with what you're giving us, even if the comparability is higher. We can say, yeah, you're right. You have been good to us, whatever what that means, and then say, well, we're happy with the number you gave us, and not the comparability. Or they say, yeah, it doesn't. What we were going to give you doesn't fit the budget, and if the comparability is higher, we go, okay, now we want a contract to that comparability. I don't see what tucking your tail does at this point.
Or how many of you are getting your comp time right now? I mean, seriously,
Here's the thing too. If we do go that route,
that's what they tell us.
we become.
Is it?
If we become a bargaining organization, like you said, the comparability studies are based on that formula, right? So it's not based on what, right? You got that, right? That was the question you asked.
Right.
That your comparability would be based on a certified corrections deputy, not that you're going to be paid on the same. We'd have to negotiate based on their
But they
comparability.
do the same
No.
functions that we do.
Corrections deputy, deputy certified through the state
Yes, but
would be the same as you. Well, same as the road deputy.
The uncertified.
The
deputy.
uncertified, which it is still today,
Yeah.
which it already is.
And so, can I ask you, Lee? Can I ask you a question? The higher number that they didn't like, was that comparable to other agencies, or was that higher than other agencies? Where was that? Where did that fall in your?
So the top number, let's say we got that top number today.
Mm.
That was less than the high number. It wasn't. It was less than Norfolk PD's top number.
Okay.
It wasn't a skyrocket number. But what the commissioners didn't like was the total amount. Like if they had to pay that money right now, 100% paid
Right.
out. Like if you got your annual wage tomorrow,
Yeah.
that's what they didn't like to see.
Gotcha.
It's too big of a bump.
It
So
was a huge bump,
Well,
humongous, which is a bad year.
How do you budget that? That's what they're saying. It's too much for us to figure out.
At one time.
So they said no to the first hourly rate, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Hot shot for the moon on that though.
Was that high?
He went for as big as he could get. He went for Norfolk PD's pay.
Okay, so it would have been top. It wouldn't have been
No.
median number like he's talking about.
Wait,
Like, so whatever your wage study was, I don't know what the high number is. I don't know what the low number is. The first hourly wage that Todd asked for, the high one, was that
that was max pay. That was a 7-year deputy.
okay?
The highest number that the
Was that the highest number compared to other agencies, or was that median? Where did that fall?
we fall in the middle?
I'd have to look at it.
Okay, that's fine. I was just curious on that.
That is on the shared drive, in case anybody wants to see it.
That is where?
On the shared drive.
Say what?
The F drive at the office.
Oh,
So you'd have to see it at.
I personally,
Not to switch gears on you, but Chris has a great point, because I am an ancient fucking rock here.
Yeah, we know.
And when I first started here, they paid 100% of family
Yep.
health insurance, and it's $100 deductible. And now I think we're at 1,500 or 2,500.
It's 5,000 bought down for family. It's
You pay up to $12,000.
yeah, family's 10 grand.
This is the first year ever I've met my deductible. So, but you look at that, but then from the county's perspective, you look at it too. When I started here, when Jesus was still laying in the manger, you know, it cost the county $200 a month for a family. Now it's $2,000.
Yeah,
or whatever the number is. Who cares what the number is?
Right.
So we're looking at public money here. So you always have to look at that and say, okay, what is the public benefit to our benefits versus what the outlay is from them? And that's very difficult, because we're talking, when you start talking, because we're not just talking about the sheriff's office here.
Correct.
Every county employee gets the same benefit, the same health insurance benefits, the same retirement benefit. So in a perfect world, we would be separated, and there's been an argument for years about that. Vern had this argument. I'm sure Todd has this argument. We're different, and we are different, but not from the county. The people who control the purse strings, we're not different.
But see,
And that's a sad. I don't know how you address it.
Change so we no longer have department work as I was.
City Hall works same way.
So absolutely.
So
Yeah, the sewer guy is not the same as the cop.
Then that,
Fire.
Norfolk PD, they've been a bargaining organization for a while, and I was a member of their FOP when I worked there. That was the argument they ran into every time that they tried to get something for, as a bargaining organization, to go to the city and fight for something. City is, oh wait, if we give that to you, we have to give it to everybody.
Yep.
And that was the
that's
blanket every time.
always the
So
were they bargaining, or that's just what they?
if they were trying to get anything, typically the city would give it to every other department too. Or they would say, we can't give it to you because we'd have to give it to everybody else and we couldn't
Is that
afford
why
it.
everyone's split into a division within the city of Norfolk now?
I don't know. That's how they argued it. That seems to be a common.
Yes, that's
So
it. I think
common
that's
threat.
everywhere.
Okay, so you were a member of a union within a law enforcement department,
It
correct?
was a paternal rural police.
And it wasn't unionized.
They were not union.
It wasn't unionized. That
It was not
more for
unionized.
the-
We were a bargaining body.
You were bargaining.
Yes, we did.
So
We
that
did
would
collective
be-
bargaining.
Okay.
So
But
that would be union, right?
But that's just the
they
FOP as
were
a
not.
they're
Not a union.
They essentially acted as a mayor commission. If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
it was.
Okay.
We were a bargaining organization, but we were not union.
Oh, I was just going to ask what you thought of it then
Oh,
with that. But if it's not the same thing, that
you
we're
know,
going,
most of the time, like I said, most of the time we didn't ask for anything. Every once in a while, we'd have come up with something that somebody wanted, and they would go to the city with it. You know,
so like,
to raise our call-in time, like from to get paid an hour to get paid 2 hours for call-in time, because by the time they get there, blah blah.
The same stuff that we
Just
would be
little things.
potentially doing. So then, if something comes up in the future, is the same thing that what State Patrol just fought 6 years to get their substantial pay raise, and that everyone's like, "Holy fucking shit!"
Yeah,
And it's going through the same exact
So
law.
what
office, too.
happens in 6 years? We run into the same issue. They give us a raise or whatever, and we want to organize, and they're like, "Oh no, we can't do it. Doesn't fit now." So it's going to be the same conversation. My old ass is going to be sitting here saying the same thing that we're saying now. Well, let's call the lawyer, talk to him about. So why not just get it done?
I don't think organizing is a bad thing. I think we've caused the damage. You know, it could go either way. I think we've caused the damage already with them. We've,
Well, they knew it was coming.
but let them know that like we're not fighting. For
Yeah, I
union
would say
we
that's
just
the big
want
thing
the
is we need
opportunity
to sit
be
down,
able to
discuss
help
it with
ourselves.
them.
Yeah,
Here's my thing though, I don't think it takes a lot. We haven't gotten very far in this. If we dismiss it, it shows that, hey, look, we're you know,
Well, okay.
we don't want it. But I think to redo it, all we have to do is get everybody to sign again.
Yeah, that sucks ass.
It does, but
I know
I think
twice.
that would
So,
that
but
would
here's
motivate
the-
that would
the other
motivate
actor is
everybody,
pretty
right?
Yeah.
But
I
here's
think
the
people
other
would be
issue
motivated
is like,
if
so
it's
what
easier to
happens if
sign.
you're like, cool, let's dismiss this. Come October
Well,
or June, all of us are like,
and-
hey, we didn't get our pay raise.
What if this is just kind of the median answer between stopping it and going forward? Well, I don't know how many people would think about this. The people that are upset, the commissioners, I don't know if we care about going to talk to Joe Smith, but we can go.
He's gonna hold the drag.
Yeah, exactly. But
And he's the one. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying we could, if we want to, before we decide on whether to keep going or to stop it, go talk to him. Or don't go talk to the county commissioners about this, let them know what our true intentions are again. And see if they're still upset and pissed about it. Instead of deciding right now, have a conversation, then come back, vote on it, and then go. I don't know if anyone's.
Well, back to the accountability thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I can.
we got 90 days, right, from when they were served. That's what he said on the phone.
No, it's when we signed those papers.
When we
Doesn't
sign it,
signature.
how long do we sign
It's
it?
in the process right
Signatures
now.
are good for 90.
We can hit the break. He said do a stay.
We can put a stay on it, talk to the commissioners and everything, let them know, and then we can come back and refocus on this again. But then, like I said, if we completely were like, let's dismiss this, come October, let's say, someone puts a bug in their ear, next our pay raise isn't going through,
So-
nothing's changing.
So what if?
Well, this
Did we get our question? Why do they have to sue them to get that?
That's part of the
was
state statute
To
process.
get it into the
They only have
The
to
Commission of
score
Industrial
if they,
Relations
Well,
requires this.
everybody in this room understands what that means
Yes.
and how people perceive that.
Correct.
Yeah.
the only reason
There's several
they have to have an actual hearing, from what I understood from that meeting, was because they're contesting us unionizing.
Right.
If they just said, okay, fine, great, go ahead, it's not a suit, it's not a case, it's just,
No big deal. Just,
It's still a case. It's still a
well,
court
yeah, but it's not like a fight.
Yeah, but they stipulate to it, and it's like, yeah, they can organize. That's fine.
Yeah, they could just say, okay, that's fine. Like, well, what's your request? We have none. And
So
I would say if we do this, we gotta make sure we're not using this.
I've got an idea. How about we have our top 4 FOP guys go and have a meeting with Todd and the commissioners, maybe even
It
Joe
has to,
Smith.
it can't be all of them. If we do all of them, it has to be, that violates the Open Meetings Act.
Okay,
So
well,
if,
whatever.
so if Troy would be in Todd's office and we're having
Can I?
a conversation.
Well, one then the other. I don't care how you do it, but talk and get their feelings on how it is. And then annual meeting time, maybe just be like, let's fucking vote.
Okay, so let's say we do that and say, hey, we don't want anything right now. And they're like, okay, yeah, that's fine, great. We stop this, and then again, 'cause our raise next, we're going off the hope and prayer that we get our raise next year. It wasn't official, so they could can't get for anything, not even can't get because it's not there. It wasn't made.
no promise.
There's no promise. It wasn't made
Whatsoever.
official.
No
It's
contract.
we
No, there
should
wasn't.
be. We should be able to do this.
It should
So
be a
we,
contract.
Yeah.
we
Well,
go and
their
have
attitude or response shows me that
we go and have this meeting and
So
say,
why
yeah,
don't you guys go and explain that?
okay,
to
so
the
let's say we do. I'm cool with explaining to them either, but
like this is how we feel.
Yes.
What if we
yeah,
pull
yeah,
back?
we, no,
and you
but
say-
okay, so we say we pull back, and they're like, yeah, okay, your raise is still tentative. Then what?
Okay.
Then what's the
Wait and see.
either way? Like, just go with the paperwork and stop hoping and praying for this.
I mean, I'm on both sides of the
For me,
fence.
it's nice.
I'm gonna jump
Straddle
in
the
here.
barbed wire.
All right.
Keep the barb up my balls.
Chad, go ahead.
So first off, I'm under the impression that all of the discussion in this room is based on suggestions of what I have heard and what Chris has heard. Scuttlebutt in the office.
No one has told us 100% what commissioners have said.
So
what
no
commissioners
commissioner has come to me and said, we're pissed off about this.
And
That's
they
just
know
kind
that-
of the scuttlebutt.
They haven't come to me either.
So the only way to know for sure is to have a conversation with them
Amen.
and be transparent. Just like anything else we would do in our job, we got to have the face-to-face conversation.
hang on, I'm not done yet. Aside from that, I say we move on ahead with forming the collective bargaining unit. Because one, if they're going to have the attitude, we don't need to tase anyone. If they're going to have the attitude of dangling our potential wage over our heads, that's the exact kind of attitude that we would want a collective bargaining unit in place for.
Agree.
And as Walden alluded to this, we've already come this far. We've already handed them the paperwork, or somebody handed them the paperwork. Let's just finish what we started.
Told me to do.
It's smart.
And to go further with that, this isn't the first time this has happened. It happened when Vern was sheriff, where it's, oh, we're gonna get you guys a good raise, and then it was, instead of being the 6 or 7%, it was only 2.5 or 3%. It's happened before. I say we move forward with the collective too.
We'll have that conversation. So we want to do a stay right now?
No,
I motion to move forward with it.
Go, okay.
I second it.
We had to
with the prerequisite that we have a face-to-face conversation with at least
I think
a
we wait
commissioner.
to make any decision on that.
Yeah,
and we do
I
it today or
agree.
that. Like,
I think-
let's go have a conversation.
I think we sit down and
I would
Unless
like to nominate.
I don't know.
Stay.
I don't
Somebody gotta
know.
make a
I don't
motion
know
to stay
that
or
the-
motion to vote.
I make a motion that we move forward with the unionizing of and created the collective bargaining or whatever it has to be worded.
Chris, what'd you have?
Well, my thought was for this accountability thing. I think it would be, and I don't know how this works with the open meetings things and stuff like that. Is to talk to the commissioners and Joe Smith, because he's going to be the one that's going to be the guy that's going to really be against it. And this is our position. This is why we're thinking. We're not thinking about that because of today. We're worried about tomorrow. And we don't know who's going to be the county attorney in 2 years. Who's going to be the
I can
commissioner
tell you one
in
of the
2 years.
commissioners I heard is going to run for Ron's place.
It don't make no
I
difference.
know. I'm just saying that's a person that worries me.
Oh, Paul Kellen wants to.
Paul Callen's a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, well, supposedly that's his next goal is to be.
It seems like council. So
I make a motion to nominate Chris York to go talk to the commissioners about this.
well, I'll go.
Well, and you can go join him. It sounds like you already kind of.
Wait. Molden made a motion. We have to address that motion.
I second.
Nay.
Molden, what was your motion?
My motion was
I
that
make
we
a
move
counter
forward with going forward with collective bargaining on the caveat that there is also still this meeting that we inform them that we're going forward with the collective bargaining for whatever these reasons are.
Well, let's list them out.
How that has to be worded. I don't know how that has to be worded.
Let's list out the reasons.
We have to finish the motion.
I know.
I don't know how that has to be worded.
I'm sorry.
We move forward.
Move
But
forward with
first, we have a meeting with the.
No, I think we move forward with the collective bargaining process and just keep going forward with that. But we inform them of why we're doing it.
Okay, let's start out with a motion to have an informative meeting with the commissioners.
What this motion?
I don't want
Let's break it into two.
Okay,
Yeah.
motion has to be-
Let's start off with, I'll make a motion to have an informative
No,
meeting.
Molden made a motion.
Molden made a motion. Vote on it. Vote against.
We have
Oh, it's a one long fucking thing with
I know.
things inside of it.
So I know.
I'm not very smart, okay? When it comes to the
I second Molden's motion.
Can you repeat it for me?
Yeah, hold on. We will hear it.
We go
Let him put this in.
We're gonna have to count.
Also saying
Fully
we're
explain
that.
it.
That's where we should have
we
we do that meeting. We all have to just say, break it
So I'll
up
make
into
sure, and
two.
we're gonna have to wait for them too.
Yep.
The informative meeting with the commissioners, first one.
I don't know how to do that in Harley Pros. Okay. So we just have to go.
So everybody in favor?
But the motion to move forward with going with collective bargaining unit with a promise to have members go talk to commissioners about our intentions and hear their feelings. Was made by Chris Molden. It
Does that
was,
sound correct?
that sounds
it was
right.
seconded by Chad Jensen.
Sorry, Austin.
As
long as
So-
they got seconded,
So we vote this, we're gonna raise our hands for this, cause I have a feeling there's gonna be We're not sure.
This is our first tight vote.
Right. So the motion is we move forward with the collective bargaining unit,
There's no stay, no
But-
dismissal.
but we have a conversation with commissioners, interested parties, but there's no stays, there's no dismissal.
That's what's on the.
That's
That's what we're saying, yay or nay to.
do we have to open it up for opinions?
I think we've had opinions.
I think we've had enough.
Okay.
We've had opinions. We've had that conversation.
Now we're voting. I didn't know if that's what we had to do.
No, but I think I think opinion's been covered.
It's tough. It's the damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, but
All right, fucking vote.
all right.
America
All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, what's our
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Delancey and Pullen.
12. Oh, Colin's on.
12. Aaron Colm.
Well, you control they got our nuts. So it's nice to have their.
See, I'm not opposed to this going through, but that
You're a good man.
I just don't like that whole fact that all the. It's just you can tell it's
Okay, all those opposed, raise your hand.
All opposed. 3. Any online?
I think there's only 2 people online. For a yay, John Rath.
The yays and the nays.
So we have 14-3.
And now we can vote on what we're going to talk to the
Okay, we're sorry. Like that does not.
We can if we want to.
The purpose of this is
We
to
should
control
probably
ourselves.
pick our appropriate first motion. We want to send forward and talk. I would say 3 to 4.
I say,
So
all honesty,
looks like motion carries. That's a
if we want it to be a proper meeting, I think we have to do president and vice president. So it is.
Those are the 2 people that should do it.
Yes, I don't, not saying that everybody's just as important. but
I make
if
the
we want-
motion. I think putting the vice president.
I second that.
Yay.
Because we have a motion, second, 1 yay. So I guess the way I'm looking at it is we want it to be.
And here's what I would
Yeah,
suggest.
professional meeting. We don't
Before you do that,
opinions flying around.
you talk to the members individually and see what their concerns are. And here's the deal, guys. They're reasonable people. We're fortunate right now. We have reasonable people. With the exception of Joe Smith, and he can be reasonable if he's talked to correctly. And I can tell you that from almost 40 years of experience of dealing with it. Okay? So, but I think it should be the president and the vice president, and maybe one person at large.
I thought one at large would be a good idea.
Chris, can we vote on your motion?
Yeah, well, yes.
Two.
Second
Yes.
8 is over.
Okay, so you want that makes.
And then we have to
more
vote on
sense.
who is at large next. Love votes. America was founded on this. We just threw the tea in the harbor. No, they got someone was.
I seconded it.
30% That. Yeah. Now I'm losing like 30%. I'm like, I don't know what to go throw in the harbor.
Yeah, but your name rhymes with beer.
All right, all in favor? Raise your hand.
Aye.
Vote on anymore.
Any nays?
I remember voting anymore. No
Like
ways.
it carries.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do for US.
Does anybody have?
Whiskey.
I would like
Motion carries.
to make a motion on the at-large member. I make a motion that Chad Jensen is the at-large member, he is very knowledgeable, but also not emotional. I thought that.
Easy on the
I
eye.
feel
Like I've been emotional.
No, I saw a lot of
emotion.
emotion. I saw a lot of emotion.
I
Yeah,
feel
the most
different
emotion
way.
I thought it was going towards.
Okay.
I someone tell me what that actually is.
I second
I
that.
don't know. I do not know what that is.
It's
In
just
all
a member.
seriousness.
A member that basically wants, it's gonna help fill in, saying from the members.
The reasoning
Doesn't
I-
hold a position within the FOP.
and I'm sorry to throw you
Or
into the flames
But
like
what does
this,
he do?
Chad.
What does he do?
But I feel like you are not as emotional as myself for
Mr. McCart.
Yeah, I'm gonna-
And speaking about this, you were for it, but you said it less passionately and more commonsensically.
Hey, Mike
Sorry,
Fitch goes
I'm
hand up.
asking a stupid question because I don't understand it. So, what is the person? Whatever you get nominated for, I'm sure he's great at. But what is his role as a non-member?
Just to go in the meeting
No,
with us.
no, he's the member as a non-board. Okay, just to be there.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I agree.
As a non-board member, non-county commissioner.
I'm a large member.
That's true.
Chad Jensen.
All right, Jensen will be the at-large member to go with McCart and Beaverson to meet the commissioners.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Jensen. Just a chill guy.
Just a chill
You're
investigator.
never ever mad about it.
shave today, did you?
No, I didn't.
We have two very chill
Like he's a
investigators.
burglar.
I should say that.
All right. So we, Chad, since you were on day shift, would you be willing to facilitate this? Hold on, Todd. I got to sneeze.
Oh, I saw you like turning around. I was like, something.
Let's try to set something up in the afternoon if we can to facilitate.
You want both Todd and Euler?
Yes, we can't have the other two commissioners
I agree.
because of the open meeting
What about
act
Joe Smith?
violation. So, what's that?
What about Justin? Or he's not a commissioner, so.
Not a commissioner. Doesn't sound like he even wants to be reasonable. But I will that conversation. I mean, if they want to bring him in, that's fine. That's up to them. You can just kind of pick the sheriff's ear if he wants him there. That's fine.
Yeah.
So,
Like that goes, yeah, they go right.
yeah, let's set something up in the afternoon and we'll make it happen. You're okay with that, Chad?
I love that idea.
Okay. Holy crap! I knew that was going to be all over the
Made
place.
some
I
headway.
had no emotion.
I'm all fired up. I think I gotta go coach wrestling tomorrow.
All right.
What's our next one?
Where the hell did I put all that?
We're doing the raffle now.
Let's get this.
On another note.
Now for good news.
So, Chris, absolutely outstanding that you're donating this for Mason. This raised quite a bit of money. How much are you gonna get?
3,000 or better.
All right. Looks like we sold $3,400 in tickets.
Fantastic. That's more than valuable.
$40 extra that was added into somebody just
That was the
donated.
Give Send Go. People were donating directly to that.
So hopefully that our efforts pushed just for them to do that. Maybe they didn't
Yeah,
want
they
it.
did.
Why
I
can't we
got
get
a hold of
that
them.
What's
I emailed them separately because that was on there. They had just donated to that, and I said, "Did you want raffle tickets?" I noticed you donated, and I was able to get them raffle tickets as well.
So what was the total? 3,400?
$3,400.
You know what?
Good.
Not bad.
Hey, thanks, Chris.
Good.
The
Well, here, we're talking about the raffle now.
I'm talking about the raffle.
So here's how I'd like this to proceed. I'd like Joe to draw the name, and then I will contact the person,
Okay.
and I will tell them that they could take the beef or the value of the beef. And if they want to take the value of the beef, I'll write them a check because I've got two people that want a half a beef. I anticipate most people are going to take the beef. And then I also, if they say we want the beef, I will let them do their own cut sheet. The critter went to the market today, so he's hanging on a rail tonight. And so I think that would be a fantastic deal.
All right. Good.
Joe, I do have to go cash a $100 check here.
Okay.
All right.
So
You want me to come do the drawing?
$3,500 to Mason. Thanks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Stir this stuff up.
Pull my name out.
Yeah.
It'll be Joe Reno.
Yeah, Joe. Wait a
Oh,
minute.
somebody should
Record.
record
Camera.
Yeah, record.
It's on the.
It's on camera.
It's on YouTube. It's on the YouTubes.
So much pressure here.
You did go through just fine. Just hold it.
Just don't draw somebody in. All right. Should I just pull one out here?
Yeah.
All right.
Grab one.
He's like feeling the print on there.
Not me.
Amy Harding.
Amy Harding.
Right?
Looks like it.
Hopefully
There's a phone number there, yeah.
She does.
If you can read it. Does anybody
Amy Harding, who sold that ticket?
I don't know.
I did.
You did?
Yep.
All right.
Who did?
Joseph.
Let's do this right now.
Caller?
Good caller. Joe.
Oh, geez. You
Relative got to get out of jail? Well, you are.
yeah. Just an update on that. He is
8655.
he is slated to go to.
We're gonna put her on speaker.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess if you want to give it while she's on the phone.
Yeah, party.
Hello?
Is this Amy?
Yes.
Amy, this is Investigator York from the Madison County Sheriff's Office. How are you tonight?
Good. Real.
Fantastic. I just wanted to call you and let you know that we had a raffle for a half a beef, and you are the winner. Joe Greenow just pulled the winning ticket from the pile. So my question to you, young lady, is what we're doing on this is you can choose the half a beef, or you can take the equivalent in the cash value.
Gosh. Can I talk to Joe really quick?
Let's hear it. He's right here.
Do we have an FOP Facebook page? You'd be good with that?
I know.
Well,
Would we want to post
You
this?
won the
I've
raffle
got a
lady,
video.
so
I have just a clip
that's
of
up to
Joe
you.
on
Like I
it.
said, you want the
We could
you
just
paid out the cash value of the beef, or do you want the
attach that to
What's
Yeah.
the
every
hash
posted
value?
a picture of the raffle.
Well, the critter just went to the locker today, so I don't know what the hanging weight is, but I'm going to estimate that it's the critter is probably worth $1,400, and the processing is like 350 or 400. So let's say $1,800
Wow.
roughly. And
So what happens to the beef if I don't take the beef and take the payout for it?
well, I will personally write you a check for the payout. And then I've got a couple people that would take the other half of beef.
I'll take the money and then buy
You know what? Let's just write the check to Mason.
wow.
Hey, thank you.
That's a great donation.
All right. Glad we can help out.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Bye. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was
y'all
cutting
heard it.
onions in here. Fucking onions somewhere.
Dad.
About $5,000 for
Dang.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Sweet.
You go half beef? Friend of yours, Joe?
It's my wife's aunt.
That's what they contact. I don't want to contact.
She well, her husband
does have to be-
he's federal law enforcement. He's retired now, but he was a postal inspector. So
Those
yeah.
dudes.
Well, that's pretty generous.
Yeah.
So he said we'll end up getting roughly either $5,440. Nice.
Wow. Another clap.
Road beer?
How's he doing?
He's doing good. I wanted to tell you guys.
Yes,
that.
you were going to give us an update.
Yeah, just to do an update on it. Yeah, he's finally gotten healthy enough, and the chemo's worked well enough that he's going to be going into bone marrow stem cell transplant in the second week in January here. So he'll have to spend 2 to 3, 4 weeks in the hospital for the transplant, and then he's got to do 100 days at a outpatient apartment next to the hospital. So he's got that coming up. So we're gonna take turns as a family trying to spend a week there with him.
When did that start, Joe?
January, second weekend in January, or second week of January is when he's slated to go. So, and it's not without risk, I guess. He told me that after he talked to the doctor. Doctor said it's 20% chance that the treatment would kill him. So he said it's. I'm like, that seems pretty high to me.
So
Yeah.
what, but if it doesn't kill him,
Yes. Then
what's
this.
the chance it'll cure him?
They said that they've had a similar case of this same type of cancer, and it took two of these stem cell transplants to cure them, but they were in remission. So, like, so he's got a very rare type of cancer, that lymphoma. But he said they've had a previous patient. And supposedly she is now having her first child. So, after they did two of these stem cell treatments, so
I can tell you this, that I have a cousin that lives in Dodge City, Kansas. His son had terminal cancer. They did the same treatment to him and told him the same thing, that this is going to kill you. It's going to cure you. You're probably not going to have any kids after that. But he's like 8 years into this, has two beautiful children, and married, and is surviving very well. So
Perfect timing for this donation.
I make a motion that we get a card, send it to this Amy Hardy with all our signatures. Yep. Second, and maybe put $150 in it.
Hey, I got an update. Poland just wanted everyone to know that the Masonic Lodge number 21 in Blair is going to donate $100.
thank you.
Motion.
Motion
seconded.
seconded.
For the card with like $150 in it.
Yep. All in favor?
Yeah, they keep just yeah.
Pretty awesome that for this type of group we come together.
Should it be a gift card somewhere maybe? Because it kind of feels a little like
Maybe she could take them family out to eat somewhere, $50.
Joe,
well, just
gift card. You know where she likes to eat?
I don't. I can find out though.
You handle that. You get the gift card.
Okay.
$150 gift card. And then get me her. I'll call her, get her address. Well, I don't need her address. I'll just give you the check.
Okay. I can get it to her.
So when I find out what the hanging weight on that cow is,
Okay. Let me know, and I will get her a gift card.
Someone sneaking in the locker and put some weights in the cash.
big son of a bitch. I'm going. He's going 1550.
It's a perfect size.
Call that guy with the walleye. Weights in there.
That happened again. The next year.
I heard about that.
Let's move on in. Couple more things.
Get your meth back.
So we did have a person who's been on the sheriff's office, I think, 26 years. That's recently retired. So
Lightweight.
we want to get him something retirement flag.
Well, we got Nick one. He left.
I think that.
Anybody have any good?
You get stopped in your personal vehicle with that much cash, you fucked.
Especially in that bag.
Oh.
Not that I'm against getting grilled. Last time we got a guy a plaque, that guy did not show up into the plaque ceremony. If we get said plaque, is said person getting the plaque gonna be at said meeting?
I have the bill. I guess.
I say we call him and say, hey, we want to give you a plaque for we appreciate your work and some beach.
We'll do that now.
I make a motion to call Bill Ruff.
I second it.
Well, here's stuff we need to do. Hello. Hello.
Oh, sorry.
He's just walking off.
So we're at the we were discussing our annual meeting, and we wanted to commemorate your 26 years of service to the sheriff's office at said annual meeting. Would that be something you are able to attend?
I am not able to attend. Oh, okay.
He's go to work.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Not so
We will figure out. Well, we wanted to get you a plaque or something.
Don't spoil it.
An unspecified surprise.
Yeah.
In plaque form.
Yeah.
Could be a plaque.
But
Could be a puppy.
have
FOP, a Joe puppy.
Puppy and an espresso.
Hey, we were gonna get you a plaque, and now we're not.
something here. There's a couple lines, but
So
probably need to start making sure we do stuff like that. So,
Hey Harry, when you get ready to retire, can you give us ample amount of time so we can plan ahead of time? Give us a year in advance.
drive off.
Second.
All in favor? God, having a tight vote is kind of fun to me. So, hey, do we make some kind of announcement that the person who won that raffle? We don't have a Facebook page or anything like that, or we can't use the sheriff's office, right?
No. Should we?
I can do that right now. My sheriff's office account.
Well, do we have some?
We don't. We don't. Everybody again. We can
Maybe
Yeah, maybe.
make something and we can post it.
maybe I could. Yeah, I can make some
like
posts.
that.
I can ask Todd. I can ask. I mean, I got our Facebook account for sheriff's office. I can ask Todd.
Or like the flyer. Could you make an update?
I'll ask him. We can
Could you
post it.
could
I
you
don't
maybe
see
like
him.
put like a banner over it that there was a winner and it was Amy Harding of Omaha or
Yeah, and if the worst thing happens, if he says no to the sheriff's office, then everybody can at least post it, attach it to the
Yeah, and
post
we
it.
can-
Yeah,
we
because
can- we can
everybody's
post it
posted
to
on
our
their own
own-
page. Everybody
everybody
posted
who's
their own.
posted it.
Everybody can attach to that, so make sure it gets.
Sheriff's
I'm sure Todd will be fine. Well, let's all call Todd right now. No, I know he won't. I'll ask him tomorrow.
No, call him up right now.
I'll call him.
We're just doing that now. We're just calling everybody right now.
Fine, fuck it. I'll call him. French, you told not to call me when I'm in the shower.
Words, we've had. Road and in corrections. So, what's your guys' thoughts?
I like it.
I was one of the people who mentioned splitting it. And it's not to be different. We all are one organization. And when I say different, I don't mean one's harder, one's better. The jail can be
Just different jobs.
Yeah, it's just different.
There's a distinction.
Yeah. So, and I would hate for it, whatever time a road guy gets it 2 years or a jailer gets it 2 years in a row, and then it's, oh, this is just crooked. I would hate for it to be that. I think it does need to be two separate awards to acknowledge the two separate departments of the sheriff's office.
Separate but equal.
Separate. That's what they told black people. I believe that one.
But also, since investigators have general role, can the investigators have their own too?
They already they don't have to wear a duty belt anymore. They already won.
I'm sorry. Officer of the year.
That's why Chad did
Investigator of the year is.
Man, my hips.
Me too. It was nice to hear the words. I like.
We need to have way we're doing this. I need somebody that wants to be in charge of doing that.
It's like
Chris
it. No, because I told you my idea on how to do it.
All right, go ahead.
So what I feel like would be the proper solution to figuring out nominees, and then everybody can vote on said nominees. The supervisors from each department have a little powwow and put forth 2 to 3 to 4 people that they would nominate for corrections officer of the year, and then we all vote on said group
So
and pick the person from there.
Well, I think that it should
We're out
be
of time.
the corrections staff votes for theirs.
Yeah.
Because, sorry, Chris, but I just don't work with you very often.
I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah. So you know your folks better than I know
Or do you just list everybody on a?
I think you have the two separate classes, but I think you should probably have everybody vote because there are times where, say, you know, they come and help me out a lot, or we come.
Jail
and
helps the
use-
road
right.
helps the jail. It happens.
Yeah.
Where you guys bring somebody in who's been super tough on you guys on the road, and we're like, just get the fuck out.
So do you guys just want to put names on a paper, everybody's name on a paper?
I think, in my opinion, it should just be every corrections officer and every road deputy on a sheet. Everybody picks one.
Okay.
You
of
can vote-
each. Or
you can.
across the board.
I think. Well, to alleviate that, you could say you can't vote for yourself, but if you vote for two people, then you vote for yourself and somebody else.
No, I mean, you can vote for one jail, one road.
So how do we?
So I understand you're saying just vote for one person on the whole list of everybody.
Yeah,
Or
but
you're gonna make
thing
it,
is,
you're gonna make it.
I think you gotta vote
one vote for one each
corrections,
side.
one road.
I think everybody should vote for one corrections and one.
Okay,
road.
yeah, I agree.
So how do we want to facilitate this? How do we want to set this up?
Put a piece of paper in every FOP's member's mail. Oh shit, we can't use mailboxes, huh?
Beer pong tournament.
Do some thinking, brainstorming. Okay, you got one of those.
Isn't everyone supposed to have a valid email address on file?
Yeah.
Supposed
yeah,
to.
that email.
I would just say do a survey monkey.
Survey monkey.
Survey monkeys.
Boom.
what-
Survey monkey.
Pick it's literally can you just put
What the
Pick
fuck
one.
is survey monkey?
pick
You
one.
get an
road.
email.
Online survey.
They send.
Well,
You'll
I
get
tried
it.
sending you one. You're like, well, I wouldn't wear a load bearing vest anyway, so I don't
so-
put it that.
We spent so much time on work easy
I
today.
know.
Baby steps.
So I make a motion that
Or
a board member help facilitate this.
I don't know. I'm not good with technology. Don't look at me.
I already touched my nose.
What if we use the annual meeting as the voting spot?
Well, how many actual correction officers are we gonna have show up? Or corrections deputies?
We need a better representation of the department.
Yeah. That's why I sent the email out as a mass email stating everybody.
That's what I'm
is
saying.
invited.
Cody.
Do we?
So who has experience with those surveys?
I'll be there. Lear.
Damn.
My wife.
I've done one.
I nominate Lear to set up a survey monkey to vote on corrections and road deputy.
Second.
Here. All in favor?
Aye.
What?
Look at that,
State trustee.
Mr. Popularity.
I like being the state trustee. I don't have to do it.
Two.
I can have it done by tonight.
What's that?
That's a good deadline.
Like I can have it done.
So
I can
what's-
literally have the survey done by tonight.
Well, give them
Perfect. Get it done.
Give them a week to vote. I don't.
How long does a plaque take?
I don't know. We need to find a spot that does it. Who does that anymore?
You have
This-
Winter Circle downtown Norfolk. Lutz Embroidery probably does some of that stuff.
Amazon.
Everybody something on the
Doing a
line.
plaque.
yeah.
What?
Are we doing the type of nominations or just the survey with everybody's name?
That's what I that's why I recommended the supervisors nominate and then put
I
forth,
almost think that the nominations would be better.
so that way I don't know numbers off the top of
Gee,
my
we
head,
have
but
to have
if
a
there's
meeting
equal
tomorrow.
road deputies
Yeah.
and corrections
Yeah.
and are there someone gets voted on and has a tie,
Then you guys can just send me the names of who the nominations are, and then I can throw it into.
Well, you gotta have some sort of background. Joe,
Yeah.
yeah, Chris is
so
nominated.
if you
Why?
take someone from your side of the week
I
and
don't- I
Joe
need to know.
takes someone from his side of the week and you guys give a little paragraph.
Yeah, we have a paragraph. That's something we need to send. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like foundation.
Or
for why
about the
we're
fact that
gonna
we
vote.
knew that Officer of the Year was going to be coming around, and we
Was
had
supervisors
time.
part of the FOP?
And once again,
Is
wait
Val
until
part of
last
the
minute.
FOP?
Yes.
Is he?
Which is why we gave a plaque out last year instead of doing Officer of the Year.
Is Bill part of the FOP?
Who's the sergeant on his side of the week?
John.
Sounds like a great villain. So, I mean, if we're going that route, I don't want to.
Cameron, you worked out how you want to do this. I mean, we already voted. He's gonna do something, but we got to figure out how.
Is it going to be just by those who are part of the FOP? Is it going to be open
No,
to
it's gotta be
everybody?
department wide.
The nominees have to be department wide.
I like the idea of supervisors making a small list, which is then
Yeah,
presented
just-
to everyone.
You don't have to give me a reason. Just fucking narrow it down.
Should
Pick
have
one
that.
person on your shift and narrow
Because
it down.
it needs to have something to read off. Because here's the thing, I don't know.
Supervisor.
Hang on, can I have you pause for just a
No.
moment? Because I don't know any jail deputies.
You don't sound very neutral right now.
well enough to say this one deserves Officer of the Year versus this one. I think supervisors would be much more informed of that decision.
But if I'm gonna vote, I want to know what the jail.
That's why supervisors
At the jail supervisor.
like let's say you're picking
Choose 3 people.
You would say Cody
At the
Borgell
road
has
supervisor,
single-handedly
choose
stopped
3
the
people.
robberies at Tyson.
Let him talk
It
for
touched
like
me
2
appropriate.
minutes and then do it.
And that's why he's top
Or
guy.
something like that, you know? Like
Making one
this
for
year, Cody Borgell
Married the
aided
bar.
in the old Tyson plan in the loss of X amount of dollars or something like that. I don't know what you would say good about personally.
He listened to like specific directions real good on stopping cars.
So sometimes here's part of my problem. Sometimes supervisors don't see everything. There's a lot of things that we don't always see. And I'd hate for opportunity to miss from a deputy that might have a better insight on something than I might.
But won't at least one supervisor know about that to then
Should.
bring it to the rest of the supervisors and say, hey, this is what so and so has done. I think they need to be on this list.
I think if people know this is going on, then they can be like, hey, Lieutenant Greeno, did you know that this person did this thing?
That too.
Or you could have a write-in.
We probably don't have
write-in
that.
option too if your number's not on there.
That was a stupid idea.
Just kidding.
So
Or I told him to follow.
So what's consensus? I need
That's
something.
twice now, Cody. That's twice.
I just worked.
That's gonna Chris' motion.
What was Chris's
I lost
motion?
track of what that was.
Supervisors pick 3 people from each side.
All in favor?
I like that.
Aye. All opposed?
Well,
Oh man, I gotta do my supervisor. Don't you guys have a meeting tomorrow?
I just didn't want to be
He's gonna
that.
do his
What?
race.
Don't you guys have a meeting tomorrow?
Yeah.
I vote for Cameron
I don't
Lear
know if
just
we
for
have
knowing
enough
what
time
the
to take
supervisors
it
are doing.
tomorrow when we have our meeting tomorrow.
What?
What?
He's going
What?
somewhere. True.
I don't
All right,
do
so-
anything like that.
All right.
It's Thursday. You don't know Thursday.
Where are we at next?
Oakley
Oh.
John.
The hog. We butchered it today.
Hey,
Who volunteered to help?
I did not.
Which I don't know if we could have got another person together anyway.
I was
It been
sleeping.
packed.
Like tan pants.
Walden is gonna do the bacon, and he is gonna do the roast, or I should say pulled pork for our meeting, which is January 18th.
Open to all, the whole department.
Everybody.
Family for that, or is that?
Yep.
Yeah, they're trying to finish.
Family with kids.
Trying to get this.
Bring a side, bring your beer. I am gonna talk to Goodwater about probably paying for his potatoes. Those are, need 2 people that are willing to run to the jail, cause they need to eat too. Okay?
I already said I'd do it. I just need someone to go with me so we can shuttle food.
I'll go with him.
Okay. Great.
Sorry, is this a deputy family and kids or is deputies a spouse?
I don't know.
I don't know how much the kids are. I mean, unless all our kids are just running around together, which is perfectly fine. But I just don't know how much entertainment
Give a
there's
couple beers, they'll be fine.
gonna be for kids.
That was my other thought. I think probably. I'm just saying, just to probably assume we told everybody, probably know they're gonna have one off family show, but the kids will be like, oh my gosh, those drunk people
You can't
standing
find a
around.
babysitter. It is what it is. I'd rather see people and they're there for a little bit, feed their kid. If they have to leave, they have to leave.
Yeah.
I don't want them to stay home because I can't find a babysitter.
Bring them.
Shit gets it is what it's fine.
I agree.
up outside.
We're all family anyway, right? Whatever.
To add on,
I really don't want to bring mine.
to the Christmas party, the lady who does my massages is donating a basket, a massage basket.
Full release.
No,
Raffle for a happy ending.
So there you go.
Marlene or Steve?
Marlene. And so she's putting together a basket that I will bring to the party to be raffled off. I know it's you putting money from your pocket back into the FOP fund, but if you don't want to put into it, don't put it into it. I'll just keep the basket.
That's how we paid for the
Um,
hog last year, though.
And then I was going to try and procure a bottle of whiskey of some sort to also raffle off.
We got
there.
one.
I don't know. That
Yeah,
was,
we got that old crown. Nobody wants crown.
yeah, that was given to us to partake.
That's to pass around.
Handle a crown.
But I'm gonna hopefully get my hands on a bottle of something or other. I don't know what yet, but to be raffled off.
So you think about the drinking, isn't it?
Me? No.
So
Are you getting something donated?
also, we need
I don't know.
Either way, $140 to raise. The hog was cheaper this year. Surprisingly, fucking huge. But we're gonna raffle that off just for sheriff's office people again. If you want $5 a ticket, I think we did last year. I'll get some tickets and I'll throw them in the office. And
For a piggy?
Pork chop, breakfast sausage, and bacon. And
Yeah, let's do that again because I'm pretty sure we like came out with like $550.
no, it was like 200.
After, yeah, because you're like, we barely made cover costs, and I remember counting the money and said, I'm pretty sure we.
Well, if he was counting, you know it's all fucked up. So, anyway, so we're gonna do that again because we want to pay James. We appreciate him letting us use his facility and helping us do that. Nothing. So, all right, what else we got?
I'm
That it?
still waiting.
I move that the meeting's over.
Yeah, we need
Second that.
Second. Everybody seconds.
it was. I'm just gonna add one little thing quick. You guys can help with some of this stuff. Participate. That'd be helpful. This stuff is a
He's at
lot
the
of work.
PD waiting. These motherfuckers keep telling
What's a
me.
lot of work?
Like doing all this extra stuff. Cody and I have to do a lot of extra stuff.
Does
You do a lot of extra work. This guy ran a whole volleyball match by himself. So if anybody can help out, we appreciate it. All right, we have a motion to close it.
Regular fees. For
We have a second to close the meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say.
All right. Good meeting, you guys.
okay, last try.
Just gonna leave you here.
Hey, Micah. All right, so.